Hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. So let's talk about it. Okay, one of the hardest things I learned, and honestly, you guys, I didn't really start finding myself until I became a full time entrepreneur. So I'm like 5 years deep into my journeys, and a lot of it had to do with the fact that I spent a lot of time by myself. I used to be the person like, I always needed friends, I always needed validation. I was very insecure, overweight. I lost 100 pounds. I just was very, very, very lost. Okay, very lost. Just I really wanted friends, and I never felt like complete by myself. But since being an entrepreneur and having to spend so much time alone because everyone's at work and here I am in the house, right? I finally started like a journey, and I've been on multiple journeys, but a journey of self discovery, self improvement, just loving self. And one of the biggest things that I learned in that journey, and again, I'm still on this journey, like I feel like these journeys are never ending, but one of the biggest things I learned on my journey is in order to reach the goals that you want, it's going to require you to change who you used to be. And it's scary to think about because a lot of times most times, that includes your habits, that includes, the people that you hang around, your mindset, like everything about you has to change in order to reach new heights. I could not be where I am today if I didn't change who I was. I lived in self doubt. Like I said, I was very insecure. I just had a very negative mindset, and I needed other people to make me feel whole. And it wasn't until I started realizing that I have to love myself where I started to change all of my daily habits. I used to drink every day. I was definitely like an alcoholic for real. And I lived like that for years. Now I don't drink at all. I haven't had a drink in 3 years. Okay, so that had to change. My mindset. I couldn't be a successful entrepreneur if I was still a very negative person doubting myself and saying what's not going to work and I can't. Right? I can't. That's not going to work out. I also had to change the people that I was around. Everyone. And again, I didn't have a lot of friends in the first place, but I had a few people who I considered my friends, and they were very lazy people. They were very lazy people, wanted things handed to them on a silver platter. You can't be around those type of people when you're trying to get to the next level, when you're trying to be great. Birds of a feather flock together. I'm sure we've all heard that phrase. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, right? Well, how can you be this ambitious, go getting person if you are around people who are the complete opposite of that? Whether you want to believe it or not, but the people that you hang around, that rubs off on you a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And now my circle of people who I talk to is very, very, very small. Like it's so small, it's a period. Like I cannot make this up. On average, outside of my family, I talk to my mentor, my personal trainer, and my counselor. Like my circle is very small. And all three of those people run their own business. My personal trainer, he runs a personal training business, and then he does woodworking. So he's a self-employed person. My mentor, she's an entrepreneur. She's self-employed. And my counselor, she is self-employed. Like her counseling business is her business. It's her. She doesn't work for a company. No, that's her company. So you have to be intentional with the people that you surround yourself with. And, I value those relationships that I have. And yes, they're all professional ones, but, you know, those are the only people that I know who run their own business. Those are the only people I know who, they're focused, they're locked in. Those are the only people that I know. I don't know anyone else. Okay, so you have to be very selective. And the thing is, it sucks. It sucks when you start to realize you have to let people go. That was probably like the most hurtful thing in my journey. And I spent weeks and even months, and I used to be embarrassed to admit that. But like losing friendships to me, I feel like hurt the most. Definitely hurt the most. Especially because for me, they were filling a void. I wasn't whole by myself, right? I needed validation. I needed friends. So losing friendships was the roughest. It took me months to start to feel better. And so it kind of reminds me of like a breakup, like with a man, like you'll have days when you're really good, and then you'll have days where you're really sad. I feel like friendship breakups are just like that. It's still grief. You're still grieving somebody, you're grieving a relationship, even though they're not like dead, right? You're still grieving that relationship that you guys had. And they serve their purpose in that time, right? It's not like everything was all bad. Like we had a lot of great times together. However, you're grieving the loss of a relationship that you valued. And when you have to move forward, it's really hard to let go. At least for me, I have a really hard time letting go. I have a very hard time letting go. I think because it's like I always try to fix it or try to make it work, but sometimes things just can't work anymore. You know what I mean? Like no matter how hard you try, it just cannot work. Your paths are not aligned, right? You're going this way, they're going this way, and it's like I will try, I will fight to the end of time, trying to make something work, and those just they don't work. And so I say all this to say, if you want to achieve something, you have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to change yourself. You have to lock in and become disciplined. You have to lock in and remain focused. You have to lock in and stop being so negative and doubting yourself, because that gets you absolutely nowhere. The best part about losing the friendships that I lost was the fact that I became super focused. Like I no longer had distractions. I no longer had drama in my life, and at the time I didn't see that, right? At the time I'm just like, this is terrible, like wooty woo. But now looking back and reflecting, it was the best thing that they ever did for me, because it allowed me to be so tunnel vision focused. I didn't have distractions or people asking me, oh, let's go hang out, let's go do this, right? And since I don't have those relationships in my life, I can focus on my business and the things that I want to achieve. And to some that may seem boring, like, wow, you don't go out. No, I go out, like, I do stuff. I take myself on dates all the time, but I'm just on a journey of self-discovery, self-improvement, all the things. I also developed a lot of self-discipline on this journey, a lot of self-discipline, you guys, and you need that. Trust me, you need discipline. And I don't think a lot of people have it, or they have it to a certain extent. Like you might be disciplined enough to go to work, right? But that's because you're going to get a paycheck at the end and you need that paycheck to pay your bills, right? But the level of discipline needed to show up even when you're not getting paid. Like when you're first starting your content journey, when you're first starting your business, you might not make any money. The discipline needed to still show up. I don't even have a word for it. And even like, let's say you're trying to lose weight, that level of discipline. I learned a lot of discipline when I started losing weight. That level of discipline is very hard to obtain, because especially like you're changing so many habits and it's such a slow process. If you do it right, not if you're on some fasting crazy diet, right, and you're trying to lose 30 pounds in a month. No, when you do it right, when you cut your calories, lift weights, when you do it right, that journey takes a very long time. And you have to continue to make the right decisions day in and day out, even though that process is so slow. Weight loss should be slow. Weight loss, fat loss is supposed to be a very slow process. And so much discipline. I developed so much discipline on that journey. But I say all this to you to remind you that you can do this. Like whatever it is you're trying to do, you can do this, but it is going to require you to change who you are a lot. But you're going to realize how it was worth it. You're going to reflect back 5 years, 10 years, however long, and you're going to be so happy that you finally made the choice that you made to change so that you could reach the goals that you had. Okay? Bye, you guys.